a little bit easier for him to perform multi-pronged harass, which is what he likes to do the most in this matchup.
He loves to do that, and we'll see if we even get there as Hart is so aggressive. Let's jump into the game, ladies and gentlemen. Hart versus Hero. And let's introduce the players. In the bottom right-hand position, as the red Protoss, it is Liquid Hero. And in the bottom left, the blue Terran. It's the Axiom Terran. It is Hart. And Hart has really separated himself, I think, from a lot of the other Terrans. And I'm noticing that there's very few Terrans at the very top tier, but all of them are playing similar styles with the exception of maybe Pult, which is to be that super aggressive, change up your build a lot, and from there you're able to just outdo your opponent. Even, I know maybe Tasia would be the other person, but even Tasia has mixed up his builds a lot, and that's where he's been a lot more successful. But you see Hart, you see Hack, both of them are very aggressive in the mid-game stages, and that's where they're able to take off.
And Hart mixing it up already, heading for the quick CC in this game. And I like this decision. It's not that uncommon to do on this map just because it's 4 players and it takes so long to scout. But still, it's a good move, which will put him in a nice position, in my opinion.
Oh, I think so. And from here, the normal thing to do is go double barracks, you get your double orbital command centers, get a third barracks, and you're just defending against all potential all-ins. Now, the one thing for Hero, it would help him if he gets a double assimilator, but he's not going to do that. Looks like he's just going into standard economic play. The reason why I said it's better to get a double assimilator over here is because then it gives you options to also all in or put a lot of really, really fast pressure on after you get the Nexus. That just gives you so many opportunities, and a lot of times Terran has a tough time dealing with that, whether it's Phoenix Harass, whether it's even Immortal proxies. Not like Max Seds, but something similar a little bit earlier. And those all-ins can just be so devastating because we've seen multiple times Marines being shoved up around here, defending the SCVs, defending the barracks from potential oracles. That's a position where if you're attacked from the front, you might be in a lot of trouble. We saw that last game, but let's say he had an Immortal in that bunker's going down 100% of the time.
It will be. And it almost went down even with just the Stalkers there. And if it had went down, I think Hart would have been in a tricky position. He could have just kited for a long time with his Stalkers against Marines with no upgrades and no medevacs if he could have killed that bunker.
Yeah, it would have been gone so much better, but here we are. A lucky probe scout will catch Hart first, whereas Hart is still searching around the map, now realizes by relegation that his opponent has to be in the bottom right-hand corner, as he scouted the top left and top right. What does Hero do from here, though? Well, that's a big question.
Looks like he's going to make a quick robo. And I think this is just going to be a very quick and standard Colossi attack.
Yeah, I think so too. Normally you get Colossus. Do you agree with getting Colossus on this map, or you do prefer like High Templars of some sort?
I think it's up to each player's stylistic choice. I don't think there's that big of an advantage for either style on this map.
Yeah. Well, I think High Templars actually has a lot harder time at dealing with the earlier stages of the drops because they're not too fast. You don't have enough gas to get High Templar spread across the map. So getting Colossus, especially in these positions, let's say I'm going to drop the Protoss player. Well, I have this natural to cover. I can't really walk or fly over here, and then I have the third base, right? Yeah. And Colossus are pretty easy to walk back and forth. But if I have a drop over here in the back, then I'm having a little bit of problems. Also, High Templars, I feel like, don't have nearly enough aggressive options as Colossus do. So I overall, just because of the positions, agree with Colossus tech.
Yeah, Colossi tech is never a bad play either, and I think it will definitely help him in the ways that you described. I think Hero will be wanting to go for that fast third base as well, just because he wants to play the macro game and take the win after he's teched up to the Templar and Colossi units.
We can see Hart playing very aggressive, and the reason why I say that, this is about a good, I would say 20 to 30 seconds faster, not getting the add-ons, focusing on getting more of the engineering bay upgrades and the factory first. The standard is You get your tech lab, you get your second tech lab for your upgrades and another reactor, or you can get 2 reactors, but normally it's a tech lab and a reactor. And then from there you get your factory. But he's going to factory extra fast. That means he will have medevacs extra fast. So he has this booming economy and this very early pressure. It will give him map control a lot earlier and force Hero to make a lot more units that he doesn't want to make.
It looks like a style I've seen Hart play a lot on this map in TVP. He likes to go for an incredibly late third base and just apply a ton of pressure and try to win the game on the 2 bases.
Nice observer pickoff. We'll see if he does that 2-base aggression or he continues on. Normally you can tell if it's 2-base aggression or not by the amount of barracks there are in order for the 3rd command center. Will we see 5 barracks before the 3rd, 7 barracks before the 3rd? That means he needs to get damage done. If it's only 3 and he gets a 3rd command center, then he's okay. He's pretty even with the economy of the Protoss for regular TVP.
Yeah, well, he's added those 5 barracks, so it looks like he could be doing a lot of aggression. He hasn't made 7. I don't think we see that as much these days in TVP, because you can produce a lot of units on 5, even so.
Well, 7 barracks normally means there's an SCV pull, right? Like you see this just gigantic all-in move from the Terran player. Photon Overcharge is going to go down here, just baiting it out. Stemming back, I like this, because what he's doing is taking map control in the beginning stages, and then his medevacs will be boosted towards him. And by the time the medevacs are finished and over there, this Photon Overcharge will elapse, and that means you only have 1 Photon Overcharge left. Are you going to commit it to the natural or the main base? That's a big question.
And we'll have to see. He has positioned some units in his main base to help deal with the medevac drops. This is exactly what he needs to do. And staying on 2 bases, I don't think he should have too much trouble defending against his medevac drops.
I agree. And this is a position where Hero can wait a long time. Normally the 12-minute mark is where Protosses have to take their 3rd base. That's when they're most safest and can take their 3rd base, kind of the earliest. But in this position, because Hart is going for such delayed 3rd base, you can actually wait till 13, 14, even later, depending on how much Hart wants to commit to this. It's really a really nice way to play it out, and I think because of this Phoenix, he'll kind of verify, and also this pylon. He needs to search if there's a 3rd base over here now or over here, and that's going to give him the indicators to say, okay, I can settle down, get everything that I need to, get my upgrades, and from there I'll be beautiful. Look at this switch though, High Templars popping out. Okay, so this is really cute. Kira's basically saying, I want you to overmake Vikings.
Yeah, and this is a style that Hero likes to do. By getting both the Colossi and the Psystorm on 2 bases, he ensures that he'll have an army that's difficult to attack into before he takes that 3rd base. And even though he has a smaller force than he would otherwise, he has a force that he won't need to tech up to anything else to complete. All he has to do is continue to add on units and get more upgrades until he reaches the late game death ball that Protoss wants in this matchup.
Oh gosh. And it looks like he will sneak by, but maybe the factory will see this. The Vikings, where are they going to go? They're going over to attack the main army, but there is almost storm ready. Not just yet. Photon Overcharge is going to be activated. There's no AoE on the field. Zealot's going to rush forward. And this is the perfect timing that Hart needs to do something big with additional units will be warped in. High Templars going into the front, Vikings landing, but they're going to be absolutely obliterated. Great storms on top of the army. And in the back, now the units are going to be dropped in.
Already a lot of units from Hart waiting for him, though.
Oh my goodness, an excellent defense out here from Hero. And off of that, I think he's ahead. Now, this didn't do too well, but look, Hart again is mismanaging his mules, now only having 6 nodes instead of the full 8. If he committed them to the natural, he's still off of 16 node production, but now he's only on 14. That actually reduces your economy quite substantially, almost a little bit more than 10%.
And now Hart has taken his 3rd base, so that will help him get an economic advantage over Hero. But the problem is he's trying to tech into Ghost now at the same time, which is something he needs to do. So Hero, he can take his 3rd base now, and after that defense, he has an army that he should be confident in holding anything Hart throws at him.
And he took the initiative and composition. This is something that's seen by the best Protosses. Once you know that your opponent is reacting to your High Templars, you switch over to Colossus. And from that, you're able to just maintain that composition advantage because they don't have the Viking count to deal with your Colossus, and now they're saying, oh, let me react again. And this gives you so much time to be aggressive, to have Zealots all around the map, knowing that your opponent cannot attack into you. It's a perfect continuation combination from our Protoss player Hero.
And Hero is doing an amazing job of controlling this map with his composition as well. He just moved out and took the center, which is a move that you have to have very good map control and map sense and game sense to be able to do. Because if you're not paying attention to how the game is progressing, Terran can sometimes just circumvent your army and go in to snipe the third. But Hero, he's doing this correctly. There's nothing that Hart's been able to do to get around him. And now he's able to put in some aggression, maybe run the Zealots and that Archon into the natural, and still defend fine.
Well, Hart's timing to actually put aggression on his opponent is closing here, as we do have him only getting +1 armor with a +1 attack. There is an advantage in upgrades for our Protoss player. And yet again, we see Hart just straying away from this upgrade-centric style at all times in his TVP, in his TVZ, in his TVP now. Did I already say that? I think I meant TVT. But anyway, we see him doing this all the time. And this facilitates a very aggressive mid-game stage. He has a lot more minerals and gas to do something, but so far, Hero has been impregnable. I mean, he's awesome.
Hart moving out with a triple medevac drop towards Hero's natural, and this could do something, but I think it might have been spotted by a unit of Hero, as he's now pulling back into his natural with additional High Templar units to defend this.
He's saying, please attack into me, because there are High Templars ready to feed back and storm all of these units. But there is a combination with this. Units from the front, but this is a pretty small force here that I don't think he wants to be going into. Here it is, though. Photon Cannon is just about to finish, and will he get the feedbacks that he needs to? Well, this is awkward. And there it is. He drops finally. High Templar won't even get it off anything. Hero's a little bit distracted because there's a bunch of shuffling down. Great storm on top of that army, and great feedbacks combining with that. Now the army of Hart has circulated around, but a storm on top of the army will miss.
And Hero is just on top of his control on both sides, defending both bases without making any mistakes. There he kind of makes a little mistake and loses those High Templar, but still his army is in position, so Hart can't push up into that base.
And again, we see this. I love how Hero just has small packs like this. Just waits for the High Templar. Oh, great flank with the High Templar there to feed back 2 ghosts, and now potentially kill a couple more. No, he's not going to do that. Landed units will come into the natural, it looks like, and try to do damage. Does kill a single Archon. That's a great trade. Zealots over there, though, have warped in. And now the assault to the third base, but there's plentiful amount of units. You can see Hart has accurately adapted to Hero's style, and he knows how to play this out. He has all of his units rallied over here, and he moves away.
Hero has been making incredibly good moves with his army so far this game. Although it hasn't paid off yet, you see how he continuously moves aggressively with his army whenever Hart tries to put on pressure. And if Hart at one moment isn't paying perfect attention to his army and doesn't see Hero moving towards him, he can lose a lot to a couple of side storms in a bad engagement.
Zealots moving in. And man, I just gotta say, Hart has adapted so well. I keep saying it, I know. But I'm really impressed with how he just has the bunkers over here with the supply depots. His rally is right here to defend his natural. Like, everything is right, and normal Terrans would be so active out in the map. Oh, big storms going down, though. Great feedbacks on top of the ghosts.
And this is weakening an SCV pull attack that Hart's about to do.
Yeah, and what's so nice about this is Hero's utilizing his space. A lot of purchasers would just back up into the natural and say, no, I'm going to just defend the army in one push. But he says, I can use this space to kite the army like this, constantly just be poking and trying to kill as many Vikings as possible, killing or storming the army. And now he's ready for the big fight. Will he be able to do it? We're going to find out.
I think he has High Templar in that Warp Prism as well to make sure they don't get EMP'd. Hero has played this out perfectly so far, and I think Hart's going to struggle to make this attack work.
We're going to find out as the initiation of the engagement has happened. Colossus are able to do a lot of damage, but I don't know. Great storms, though, from those Templar inside, but is it going to be enough, Mike? I'm not sure, as there's just so many Marines and Marauders in this composition. A 1-1 army defeating, I think, a 2-2, no, a 1-3 army. Wow. And you can see the sturdiness of these Marine Marauders. They need the momentum, though. Will they be able to have it? Storms can change this.
No energy left in those medevacs. Every storm counts for so much at this point. If Hero can defend this attack, he'll be in a perfect position.
And I think he's done it. Another storm and or another couple High Templars here with some Zealots will be able to give him a bit of stability. +2 weapons attack is almost finished at the same time. You know what? I really feel like Liquid Hero will be able to hold this off. I know it seems rather dim, but the upgrades make such a big advantage.
But
we saw this with Pult against Hart.
He still has a lot of High Templar at this point.
Yeah.
And there's one Ghost maybe left in Hart's army. So unless he can land EMPs on all those High Templar's energy.
Yeah, he's incorporating Immortals into this composition, which makes a lot of sense as well.
That's so smart, actually, because when it comes down to small numbers of units and lots of Marauders, the Immortals count for so much.
Yep, an engagement is going to happen. Snipe goes off. Archon is going to be merged, but the Zealots do not want to go into that attack. There's just too many units at this point. Hart able to just oversize and overmatch his opponent. Our Storm's ready. We're going to find out. 73, 74. One more second, and there it is. He's targeting down the Nexus. It will go down, and he is not able to get a connection onto these units. Immortal bursting onto the field, but they're not able to chase this army down in time. Reinforcements get here, and they're going to be able to kite for a long time, but these medevacs still don't have a lot of energy on all of them.
Still, all Hero has to do is hold on again until that Nexus is finished. Now he's going for some harass. He's started that base again. He has another base which is already completed, so he's still in a good economic position compared to his opponent.
Yes, he is. Income tab showing 66 harbors to 38. You can see the income difference is because, well, rather the worker difference is because of all of the SEV pools that we saw from that push. Hart not in a great position as you would think he would be in, because he can't have that momentum. But for now, I mean, well, maybe he can. He's on low economy. You can see only 2 bases. He has a lot of mules to help out, but the natural and the third base are mining out pretty quickly here. And Hero's going to just grow stronger and stronger exponentially, whereas I think the army of Hart just increases in magnitude by a multiplication. And the reason for that is because of those upgrades. I think we have a 2-3 army, against a 1-1 army for the Terran. So again, we have to have Hart pushing on his opponent, but can he realistically do that now that Colossus, High Templars, Archons, all this AoE is in this composition? It's going to be hard.
He is kind of sneaking around Hero's army. I think his best... Oh no, he's pulling back now. I think Hart has to get a lot done with his army to still be in this game.
Yeah, I think so. He's going up to the 4th base. This is going to help out quite a bit. Oh, feedbacks. Great counter feedbacks, killing 2 ghosts there, merging into an Archon. He'll probably be able to take out this base. Is there going to be a sandwich? Zealots being warped in, but that's just going to be Marine Marauder fodder. The units are coming in from behind, and I feel like Hero should just give this up in general. There's no use in trying to go into this. But he just tried to poke up, killing one of the ghosts, but that didn't work out so well. Nice feedback on that ghost. And Hero needs to stabilize a little bit. Now, he's only on one base economy, basically. I mean, he has gas economy in his natural, one of his geysers in his main base, but that's going to deplete pretty soon here in a couple of seconds.
But Hart's economy isn't exactly booming either. If Hero can defend, make more of this composition that he has, I think he still has a good chance to make this happen.
Yeah, I do too. Look at the army supply difference. It might seem like Hero is so far behind, but I'm telling you, upgrades mean such a big part of this, and still we have the Terran army that's pretty scattered.
And there's not much energy on the ghosts that are left in Hart's army. He has 2 very low energy ghosts in his army and 2 ghosts that just finished as natural. And Hero has 7 High Templar, which I believe most of them have had a lot of time to build up energy.
Oh, they have. They most certainly have. And that helps out. You can see most of these High Templars are maxed out. Yeah, I think Hero's in a great position so far. We're going to find out. Observer in the perfect location to just see these incoming units. But will Hero have the micro necessary to defend against his incoming push? Only 3 Vikings, and there are 3 Colossus.
Oh, a nice storm there. But still, this isn't what he needs. He needs to be able to do a lot more damage than this.
Yes, He needs like the feedbacks at this point. Hart's main orbital command center lifts over to this 4th base location, where he's trying to land and increase his income.
Hero taking another base as well. I think Hero just wants to try to play defensive and get the better end of the High Templar against Ghost game to be able to win this.
I think so, and all of a sudden we're moving into a late game stage. I thought for sure it was going to end in the next couple of minutes, but both players just shadowboxing each other, trying to find the right combination that will win out the game, but it just did not happen. Scan goes down to clear out the Dark Templar. And I have to say, I mean, this is getting pretty scrappy. I feel like the next fight will determine everything, and Hart is approaching that maxed army much quicker than Hero.
Yeah, Hart's definitely going to have a better army at this point. It all comes down to still the EMPs against the Storms.
And yes, it does. Army tab, let me just check, 90 to 149, so there's still a lot of damage in this army of Hero. Yeah, it's an okay Storm, but really he wants feedbacks on the Medivacs and the Ghosts. I like this. One thing we can't mention, look at how many Medivacs are in this composition. 14 on the field. Great feedbacks, that's what he needs.
And a Hero is slowly building up his army. The supply gap will close more and more the longer this goes on. And once Hero gets an army that's equal to Hart's, if he continues to trade this well against the Ghost, the maxed army could favor him.
Oh, it will favor him. 2-3 against 1-1. I keep mentioning this because upgrades are of the utmost important in this this matchup. Now, if he kills the Medivacs here, then he's able to just decimate his opponent. Normally, you kind of mitigate the upgrades with the Medivacs, but here we're going to have a lot of feedbacks start off the initiation of the battle. Good Storms on top of the Vikings. Can he kill all the Vikings? Oh, that is a massive blow. Now stimming in. Will he commit to this engagement? Hero backing up all the way. He has 3 Colossus. Now blinking underneath the Vikings. A perfect engagement for Hero so far, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. Where are his High Templars? They're coming in, straggling in one by one. A blink underneath the Vikings. He's going to clear up every single one of them. And he needs a good Storm. That's going to land really nicely. The bio of our Terran player Hart is crumbling. A Warpin on the right side, though. Will this be enough? And Hart just calls it GG. Hero. You could see the pressure in his face right now. He realized how close that was. But the inevitable fight would have just trounced the army of Hart. Additionally, we had continued aggression in the 4th base, so Hart didn't have any